There is a growing backlash in many cities to liberal and controversial drug policies. As statistics show, they're not working to lower the number of drug overdose deaths. Many of these cities have embraced harm reduction measures, but so far, they have not lowered the number of fatalities. In New York City, site of the nation's only supervised drug consumption sites, overdose deaths are the highest in nearly 20 years. In San Francisco, drug overdoses are up nearly 20% since 2020. And in Portland, overdose deaths are already 51% higher than last year. And in Philadelphia, overdose deaths were up 11% from 2021 to 2022. In Philadelphia, the City Council moved against safe injection sites. These facilities are now barred from opening in 9 of the city's 10 council districts. Joining us now is Philadelphia City Councilmember Jamie Gauthier and Stanford University drug policy expert Keith Humphreys. Glad to have you both. Councilmember, I'd like to start with you first. You're against these sites. You voted against them. Why?
I'm actually not against these sites. I was the lone district that didn't vote to ban the sites. I think that we shouldn't take tools off of the table with a growing overdose crisis in the city.
So why did so many of your colleagues disagree with you?
I think that this is a thorny issue. I think it's a scary issue for many people. But I believe that we have to approach this thoughtfully, especially in a situation where we're losing 1,400 Philadelphians a year to overdose. Black Philadelphians are seeing the highest increase in terms of overdose deaths. And so, in my opinion, we do not have a handle on this issue, and we shouldn't take any solution off of the table. And though people feel passionately for or against overdose prevention centers, they have been shown to work in the areas where they have been implemented in order to save lives.
Keith, is that true? It doesn't look like it from the data. In the cities that have passed these safe drug sites, overdose rates are skyrocketing.
Yeah, well, of course, the U.S. has very few of these sites, and they don't engage many people, so we wouldn't necessarily expect them to change the city's rate. But I do think that this issue is emblematic of a broader trend, which is that, a lot of left-wing cities and politicians in the last few years kind of had a libertarian moment about drugs, starting to think about them the way conservatives often think about guns. In other words, it's an individual right, should not be abridged. People should be able to do what they want, and harm to others should not be a concern. And a lot of these places now, I think the voters, generally actually left-wing voters, are starting to rethink that in light of the deaths, as well as in light of just the disorder in many of these places. And that's led to a rethink. And I suspect that might have accounted for how some council members in Philadelphia voted on this issue.
Yeah, I mean, 9 out of 10 is a pretty overwhelming majority of people who definitely didn't at least want it in their district. They wanted it someplace else. Keith, are you seeing across the country a backlash to these liberal drug policies?
Yeah, very, very prominently. So especially out where I am, which is probably the most libertarian part of the country. But the fact, like a city like Seattle, which, when Donald Trump last ran for president, I think 8% of Seattle voters voted for him. And then 18 months later, a Republican city attorney pledging a crackdown on crime and drugs won a majority. And in San Francisco, we had a quite liberal district attorney actually kicked out by recall. So, and I think that's out of frustration and out of, the sense that, communities are falling apart and all these deaths are happening. By the way, it's not always rational. Some of this has to do with fentanyl, and it would have been bad anyway. But I'm just talking about this is how, politics often works.
Yeah, listen, a lot of it is the backlash of the footage we were just showing, which is particularly bad in cities like Philadelphia and Portland and even in New York City, where you see people passed out on the sidewalk with the needle sticking out of their arm. Council member, I'm curious, you say you support safe injection sites, but the statistics in your city are mind-boggling. They're not bringing the rate of overdose deaths down. You can't say it's keeping people alive. So why do you support them?
I didn't say that I supported overdose prevention centers. I said that we should be considering every tool to save lives, and they've been shown to save lives in other places. We don't have any overdose prevention centers in Philadelphia to measure the impact or the effectiveness. And so what we're seeing is drug consumption happening in parks or outside of libraries or under the subway station, as opposed to happening in places that could be safe for people.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.